How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL live stream, deadline stream for Game Week 7. We got, hopefully we can get a green arrow this week. We had a little bit of a dip last week, and hopefully we can recover from that. But I'm confident this week. Maybe not so much on my defense, but definitely confident in some way. Shape or form. You know, sometimes I can just look at a lineup and I can just think that
I think I'm a special one.
I think it's the special one. So yeah, it's a little bit of a Mourinho joke there, but yeah, I think that we could do well this week. A good bit of home fixtures and the players that I would want. We made our transfer as well, so you'll see who that is in just a second. But yeah, we'll go over the goals imminent table, captaincy matrix, our little table that we have, and the weak defenses that are emerging across the game. So without further ado, let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout. So, if you haven't done so already, where have you been? Fantasy Football Scout is a fantastic membership, and it gives you access to a whole bunch of different things, but the thing that I like the most is the Opta data driven stats tables that are fully customizable that you're going to see in today's stream as well. So fantastic stuff, plus a whole lot more. There's your preseason offer as well that you can get to get 20% off, and yeah, it's great. You get the access to the same thing no matter if you get this can't get my words out. You get access to it whether you have a discount or not. The wide range of tools that they do have. So I think it is fantastic. And if you use the link in the about section, or if you're watching this over on YouTube, link in the description below. So now, without further ado, let's check out the team and the transfer that we made for this week. So, that is the team up on the screen. I rhymed and I didn't even know it. Let me get a little bit of water first. Right, so that is the team as you can see up on the screen. What I will also be doing is keeping an eye on Twitter in case there is any news on Manchester United's team news. Not many people will probably be caring about Everton, but mainly is Greenwood going to be starting? Is Shaw going to be starting? Is Ronaldo going to be starting? All these sorts of things. I mean, I would bet good money that Ronaldo is starting. Greenwood and Shaw, probably a different story. But yeah, here is the team as it stands. We made the one transfer, and that was Luke Ayling has come out for the likes of Antonio Rudiger, who we're probably going to have on the wildcard anyway. We currently have double Brighton defense with the likes of Veltman and Sanchez. How's it going, Iowa? Glad that you can join us. Got Luke Shaw in there, and hopefully we get some news on him, whether he's going to play or not, because I would really not like to have 10 men this week. Especially having to combat, you know, double Chelsea defense, a potential Lukaku hole, whatever else. I could be up against like Rafinha and the Jotas of this world, and it could be a bit of a scramble to have some points this week. But I think the team looks okay. Took a -4 this week, but tempted for the wild card next week. Hey, there's nothing wrong with having to fix something for this week temporarily in order to wild card next week to make yourself a little bit better shape. I'm considering it. If Shaw's out, I have to, because then I'll be down to 10 men. But hopefully I can get the team news, or at least some type of confirmation of some kind that Shaw is going to be playing. Because if he's not, then I definitely have to bring in somebody. Because I'll have Trent who's injured, I'll have Tsimikas who's probably not going to play, and then I'll have Shaw who's not going to play, which leaves us with just the two defenders. I need to rely on Omobamidele for 11 players. Probably wouldn't necessarily do that. But who knows? Apologies for the yawning. It is early o'clock. Right. In midfield, I really like the looks of our midfield this week. Fornals, Benrahma, both up against Brentford. That should be quite interesting. Sarr, Salah, Ings up top with Antonio and Ronaldo as the captain is looking not too bad. Would I like Jimenez instead of Ings? Probably. But our midfield's strong. If I look at the fixtures, so if Shaw plays, we'll have two in the Man United Everton game off the start. We'll have none in the Burnley Norwich game. We'll have one in the Chelsea Southampton game. Leeds versus Watford, we'll have Sarr, so that's one. Wolves Newcastle, we won't have anybody. And Brighton Arsenal will actually have two. So we'll have a total of 6 players. So a lot of our players play on a Sunday as well. So wildcard next week for you. Yeah, almost certainly. Almost certainly is going to be a wild card. I mean, if you look at the players that I actually want to keep in my current team from the players that we have now, I don't want Sanchez. If I'm going to be replacing Begovic, I probably will with Foster just because he could play at 4.0, or I could have rotating goalkeepers. Veltman will go, Tsimikas will go, Shaw will go, Gilmore will go, Sarr will probably go, Benrahma will go, Fornals will go, Ings will go, and Ronaldo will go. So, and maybe even Antonio potentially as well, if I feel that Jimenez is going to be better than him because of his fixtures. Yeah, Sanchez does have Norwich next week, but Man City and Liverpool after that. Which isn't ideal. Now, I can also always find a goalkeeper that potentially rotates with him, maybe. That wouldn't be a bad shout. I haven't found one yet, or didn't really consider Sanchez actually as a rotational goalkeeper. More of as a set and forget. But if I can find a goalkeeper, then a 9 and 10 is a good set of fixtures. So it'd be 9 and 10, 14, 18, 20, and 21. So 9, 10, 14, 18, 20, 21. Let's check our watch list actually. So 9 and 10, 14, 18, 20, 21. So Ray is not the greatest. Guaita. 9 and 10. Ooh, City's not great. 14, Leeds is probably not bad. 18 and then 20 and 21. Yeah, that could potentially work there. What about Ramsdale? Ramsdale, 9 and 10. Aston Villa and Leicester's not terrible. 14, Man United. 18 is Leeds, and then 20 and 21 not ideal. So probably Guaita is the best rotator with Sanchez. If I was going to go that route. Are there any other goalkeepers that... I'll just put this so we can see. Tim Krul. But I don't expect Norwich to keep a clean sheet at any time. But maybe he saves a penalty or something. My defense for this week is Alonso, Duffy, and Omobamidele. Scary. Yeah, it does sound a bit scary, to be honest. That could be potentially a nobody playing. So 9 and 10, Chelsea and Leeds, not great. 14, okay. 18, 18 West Ham, 20 and 21. Yeah, there's no real exact rotation with Sanchez per se. If there was a fixture that I'd probably be okay with playing Sanchez, it'd be 14 and 21. So we'll go 9, 10, 18, and 20. So 8, 9 for Rhea, 18. See, 20's Man City. Who does Sanchez have in 20? Chelsea. Yeah, that's not ideal. Rhea would be the one I would kind of potentially go for. Ramsdale, 9, 10 is probably okay. 18 and 20. So yeah, okay. I mean, not terrible. Because I can play Sanchez versus Everton there. Looks like a wild card after the deadline. Yeah. Yep. But remember, you don't have to. You don't have to activate the wild card until before the price rises. So you have basically you can go enjoy the football, and then say, okay, what information did you get from that? Which players do you definitely not want to keep? All that sort of stuff. So, like as an example, if I know that, let's say, I don't know, Alonso is going up in price because he had an absolute stormer, um, and could go up like twice in over the international break or something. You could, even if you don't want him, you could bring him in for the likes of Shaw as an example, who like in my team, who I know I'm not going to keep, right? Unless Shaw has a stormer and he could go back up to 5-5, and then we can gain point one on selling him. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So like as an example, if we look at my list view, currently I can sell Trent for whatever price I want. If Alonso doesn't play 100% wildcard, yeah, I think Alonso's too risky. I think you can get away with Cancelo just because they don't really have any options, whereas Alonso, just like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, could just be randomly dropped for Chilwell, potentially. But yeah, Sanchez having Norwich next week doesn't really bother me too much. If I were to rotate with Ramsdale is Crystal Palace at home. If I were to rotate with Guaita, he has Arsenal, which, you know, isn't the greatest fixture, but Rea and Guaita could do well, because I think the worst fixture that so like in game week 10 when Guaita has Man City, Rea has a halfway decent fixture versus Burnley. So I want Aubameyang, to be honest. It's too expensive. Too expensive. You got to go with like Saka or somebody like that, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Let's see what's going on Le Twitter. And nothing doing thus far. The only thing I see is petitions to make David Beckham the next James Bond, which is hilarious. What I'm actually going to do while I'm thinking of it is just I forgot to take a picture of my my team, just so I can post it on Twitter later. Just so I can have it. Just so I can have it. Even if I make another, well, if I make another transfer, I'll be able to screenshot it later. But at least I have that one. So if I don't make an additional one, then like if Shaw is injured or something and I have to make an additional one, then you know, I can always take another one later. But at least I have that one in stock. So yeah, Crystal Palace and Leicester, I won't have any players for that game. Spurs Villa, I'll have 1. West Ham Brentford, I'll have 3. And Liverpool Man City, I'll have just the 1. So yeah, the West Ham Brentford game is massive for me. And the games that I basically have to dodge a bullet basically is the Chelsea Southampton game and the Leeds game with Rafinha specifically. Liverpool Man City is going to be what it is. Yeah. Why do I want Benrahma out? Just because his fixtures are turning, to be honest. Europe is probably going to start to take a toll on them. Like if you look, Everton away, Spurs at home, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Wolves, Man City, Brighton, Chelsea. All of those on any given day could easily beat West Ham. Like Everton can beat them, no problem. Spurs have the quality with Kane and Son if they're playing on point to smash West Ham. Aston Villa have been playing well. Liverpool are Liverpool. Wolves could be stingy. Man City is stingy. Brighton is a tough outlet. And Chelsea is very tough. And then they have a nice run. With just Man United and maybe Leicester in this run. So I'll be looking to get them back come Christmas time during this break, where basically the likes of where's Ramsdale? Where the likes of Saka's fixtures, 13's his last good fixture, 14's not too great. Benrahma, in game week 14, Brighton and Chelsea, then we could bring him in maybe slightly early, but also he could be back down in price to where we sold him, because there were a lot of managers selling him. Currently he's 6.6 million. I can sell him for 6.3 because I've had him since he was 6 million base. So if I sell him, he could easily go back down to what I sold him for or lower by the time I go back to get him again. So could be okay. The only consideration is Antonio, just because Antonio is kind of just a brick wall, man. He's just he's so good. Any defender worth a -4 this game week? Well, if I was betting on a clean sheet, it would probably be Burnley. Which is why I'm still half tempted to just take the -4 and just bring in a 1 week punt like a Tarkowski or me and hope they get like a set piece goal or something too and keep a clean sheet. So, yeah, I would bet on Burnley, honestly, as a 1 weeker, just because Norwich have only scored 2 goals. One was a mistake, which Pookie put away nicely, and the other one was a penalty. That's it. They just don't score goals outside of that. If you do, I do. We'll see. Let me see. Nope, nothing as of yet. I'm actually just gonna bring over on the side here. I'm just gonna bring up Burnley versus Norwich historical data in the Premier League. So let's see. So the last time Norwich and Burnley played each other in the Premier League, Burnley won 2-0 both times. Chris Wood scored, and Ben Godfrey, who was playing for them at the time, scored an own goal. And then at home, which would have been with the fans in the ground because it was pre-pandemic, Chris Wood got a brace. So if you're looking at Chris Wood to score, today is probably your day. but they kept a clean sheet in both occasions. And then if we're going back, then there's no other historical data other than those two for the Premier League, because then you're looking at Division 2 and the Championship and all that sort of stuff, where it's a little bit different. So yeah, looking like a potential Burnley clean sheet there. But yeah, if Shaw's out, then I would go for it, but we'll have to see. Or if I just want to feel secure, because it will be a differential. It will be a differential. If Shaw's out, then definitely I probably go for it. But again, if Shaw's out, it's a -2 because Shaw's not playing, Tsimikas ain't playing, Trent's not playing. So literally I have to. And it's just a -2. So if he comes away with just 2 points, then I break even, so whatever. And I don't see Norwich scoring 2. But if he gets a clean sheet, then I'm up. So, and it would just be a one week punter. So, but yeah, this is what the team would look like probably on the wild card left over. If I bring up my watch lists, which we updated already this week, I really like the looks of Raya, and then a rotation between either Guaita or Ramsdale, basically, as a rotation. I really do like Arsenal's defense, and Guaita and Ramsdale actually rotate quite nicely all the way throughout the, or Raya and Ramsdale rotate quite nicely. So yeah, like Gameweek 9, 8 and 9, Ramsdale has 2 pretty good fixtures. And it rotates kind of. I think the worst is like when Raya plays like somebody stiff. Ramsdale plays like West Ham or something, or Leicester, which they can do well. So that rotation would probably be something I would go for. Any City midfielders that could work long term. Funny you should mention that. We'll get to those in just a second. I want to go Cancelo. I also want to go Diaz. I'm also half tempted to go double Chelsea. And one of my Chelsea defenders will be the make way for when I go to bring Ronaldo back in. Because when Chelsea's fixtures kind of start to teeter off in game week 12, where I want to bring Ronaldo back in, because Lukaku, he'd really want to score versus United. I just hope that he wouldn't. But basically, game week 15 is when United's fixtures are really good. It's like that's when the Crystal Palace at home game is. 12, 13, 14 is they play each other. They both play Watford away and then Leicester away for Chelsea. Whereas Man United have, I think it was Arsenal at home, which is, in my opinion, a much easier fixture. They're probably about the same, but Arsenal at home, United typically have done quite well when Ronaldo's in the team. So yeah, Azpilicueta will probably be my makeaway defender-wise, and then I'd probably potentially just kind of hang on to Rudiger and maybe look to change him, but we'll see. Then in midfield, as you mentioned, City midfielder, I would say that spot is going to be either Grealish or Foden. And the reason I say Grealish or Foden is because Grealish has had the most minutes thus far, and Foden is looking like he could be the David Silva type role, where he's the left side of the midfield 3 and De Bruyne is the right-hand side. And Foden's just wicked. And he pops up in the box, and when Foden gets in the box, he tends to score when the ball is played into him, whereas the likes of Sterling has missed chances, Bernardo's missed chances, whereas I think Foden's a bit more ruthless in front of goal. Famous last words. Rafinha would be another one that I would definitely be looking to bring in. Romelu Lukaku, almost certainly. And this would probably be more akin to a 5-3-2. I'd have to kind of work out the way things are going to work out here. So we'd have to go with a non-playing forward almost certainly, which would be, I'll just say Richardson as an example, if I was going this way. Brownhill would be the cheaper alternative in midfield. And then this is where I'm kind of just looking at it like, you know what? Do I really want to go 5 at the back? Probably not. Which would mean if I had to cut one, I would say City's defense is better than Chelsea's. Way better than Chelsea's. And Azpilicueta would be the one. Livramento would be his replacement. And then I could go with another cheaper midfielder, and we can work around this. So basically I would go or if I really wanted to go Azpilicueta, I would have to kind of probably go without Antonio. So Antonio would be probably Ivan Toney or something like that. And then I can go with like a Smith Rowe or something like that, a Brian Mbuemo. That's what I could potentially look forward to. Now, if Trent's out longer term, because we can obviously wait until basically the day before we have to kind of confirm things, Trent allows us to get a lot more in defense. So if I was going to go Trent, or was going to go without him, I would go with Livramento. Almost certainly. I would boost up the likes of Smith Rowe to a Saka. And then I basically just need to leave 1.5 million or thereabouts in the bank to go from Azpilicueta up, or Diaz up, basically, which would mean that we could probably, instead of Tony, if we wanted to, go for... No, we can't go Antonio. How much could we have? So if Trent was 7.5, that would leave us with... so 1.5 off of that leaves 7.4. So we could go with Tony, but could we go with a better forward? Let's say Armstrong. We'd still be short a little bit, so we couldn't go Armstrong. Could we go... I think we could go Gallagher, but we'd have to drop Saka to like a Smith Rowe or an Mbuemo, and that would give us a little bit extra in the bank. Hey Red Wolf, how's it going? Would it be better 2 Chelsea defenders this week since City are playing Liverpool? Yes, I would say so. If you had to bring in double defensive something this week, Chelsea is probably the way to go. But I don't think there's any issues with double Chelsea, double City, and Trent long term either. I mean, alternatively, we could also go, instead of Azpilicueta, we can go Christensen, if Reece James is out longer term. And then that would allow us to go, we could go Saka. And then we just keep the money in the bank to go from Rudiger straight up, and then swap Christensen potentially for a cheaper midfielder like a Ben White or something, and then roll with basically double City defense and Trent basically. That would kind of be the long term kind of ordeal. But I really like this midfield slot, this mid-price midfield slot, because if Firmino gets injured and Jota emerges or Greenwood emerges again, or Torres emerges again, or Foden becomes wicked, or Grealish actually starts getting returns when he should be. That price bracket, I want to be able to do that in one. I don't want to have to be able to deal with that, position. If I were to go without Trent, I would set up a situation where I can literally get rid of whoever I want to get him, basically. So if I went with this team, I would make it so that I can go from Christensen straight up to Trent, because I think Rudiger probably plays more games. But like the little annoying, like Rafinha going up, Saka going up, Rudiger's already gone up once, Cancelo's gone up, Diaz has gone up. These little things kind of add up, which is kind of annoying. But yeah. That is the team currently. Let's take a look at Twitter really quickly, just in case. We don't want to miss anything. Cristiano Ronaldo is one player of the month, which is interesting. No point in United running polls for anything because Ronaldo will win them all. So basically, when was this tweet sent out? I'm just looking at this. So there's a guy on Twitter that I'm following that apparently he's going to be able to give us some information on the United team news, which would be very nice. And that's like soon-ish. So we'll keep an eye on that. We shall definitely keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's for a little bit later. But yeah, 5 at the back is something I've definitely toyed around with. Now, we spoke about Fantasy Football Scout. This is the Fantasy Football Scout members area. This is one of the tables that I've created. It is called the Goals Imminent table. This is something that also Fantasy Football Scouts Joe has also set up as well. But basically, it's a table where you have a minimum of 10 goal attempts with expected goals above 0.2. And you've only scored 1 or 0 goals in that time. So basically, you've expected to have scored a little bit more than what you have. And if we sort it by expected delta, basically the amount of players that should be the players that are in the negative are the ones that should have definitely scored. So like Watkins and Diogo Jota and Eleni, if I pronounce that right, they should have all scored an extra goal than what they have in this time. You've also got Adam Armstrong, someone I'm considering in the wildcard as a cheap forward. Bamford, he's going to be on there until he basically plays again, probably. Jared Bowen, Harvey Barnes, Kenny McLean, not really a fantasy asset. Bruno Fernandes, for missing the penalty, obviously. Tielemans, Gundogan's going to stay on there probably because he's injured at the moment. Bukayo Saka is actually on there after scoring. He's still on there. Mason Greenwood and Ben Rama. So maybe some returns from Ben Rama this week. That'd be nice. Hopefully no returns from Diogo Jota though. But yeah, you can create these stats tables with these like kind of caveats in them as well. If we look at the captaincy here as well, let me just close that. That was the search function that I was using to look at players. it's sorted by expected goal involvement. So if you are a Fantasy Football Scout member, I have all these tables public as well, so you can always find them. And top of those expected goal involvements is Salah. The only issue is that he's going up against the toughest defense in the league in Man City. The next highest is Cristiano Ronaldo, 3.54 expected goal involvement, 5 big chances, 2 less than Salah, with a similar number of shots inside the box. Antonio, also good as well, 2.48 XGI. His numbers obviously are slightly less because that includes his absence for his ill behavior, as it were, on the pitch when he got sent off. And then Romelu Lukaku, this was actually quite surprising. He's actually lower down on the list. He's only had one big chance, and he scored 2 goals from it, and he's had a lot less shots, which you can tell that he's playing against tougher opposition. But if you compare who these guys are playing, so Ronaldo as an example, Ronaldo is playing Everton this week. Now, if we look on this list in terms of XG conceded, Everton's right down the bottom. They don't seem to concede very many at all. Same with big chances, attempts in the box. But if we go back and look at what Everton's schedule has been, let's go with Gray. Southampton, not really too difficult. Leeds, okay, you might concede a few shots, but you should be okay. Brighton, don't typically score many. Burnley, don't typically score many. Aston Villa, they got routed. And then Norwich. So the only real tough opposition that they played was Aston Villa, and they got spanked, basically. So my thing, and also United in preseason have also beat them convincingly as well. Now imagine what you can do with the likes of Ronaldo and whatnot. Another thing to also look at, if we sort it by headed goal attempts, Everton's around mid-table, which kind of bodes well a little bit for Ronaldo. Big chances conceded. Again, Everton is still low on that table. So the stats all think that Everton are quite good defensively, although the eye test definitely shows that they have some vulnerabilities at the back. Now, Antonio plays Brentford. Brentford are doing quite well on this list. Lower, like third, I would say. They've only kept 1 clean sheet, though, which isn't ideal. Big chances conceded. They're going to be on the same mark as some of the more middling, mid like in the upper third, which, you know, potentially bodes well for the likes of Antonio. But for me personally, I have triple West Ham. I have Fornals, Benrahma, and Antonio, so just having this player is probably good enough. So I think Ronaldo, again, probably edges it there. And then I don't have Lukaku, but Lukaku does play Southampton, who are also very stingy in defense, or at least have been over the last 4 game weeks. So very, very tough decision. Do we take in Burnley? I don't know yet, is the answer. I don't know yet. But yeah, based on this captaincy table, if Salah wasn't playing Man City, he's probably the best captaincy shout. Ronaldo is the next best, then Antonio. Then Lukaku. I think Ronaldo's opposition is easier than Lukaku's. I think Antonio's is potentially getting easier in terms of Brentford. But they have been quite... it could be a shootout between those two, which would be very intriguing to watch. Let me check the sources again. Let's talk FPL is... aka Andy. He's saying, I need that Man United team news. ... I do too. So let me see if there's anything that we have here. Nothing as of yet. Nothing as of yet. So we wait on, basically. It's probably going to be a panic closer to the deadline. But yeah, for me, Ronaldo, best captain for, in my opinion, this week. I think Lukaku could probably do just as well. Antonio could do just as well. But if I had to rank them, I would say based on the player, Ronaldo, Antonio, Lukaku. But since I have triple West Ham, Ronaldo's clear for me, and I don't have Lukaku, so it makes the most sense for me. Right. So let's look at the fixtures, which I have off to the side here. Let me get a drink of water first. So, United Everton, early kickoff. Don't always like to captain somebody in the early kickoff, but I mean, it's Ronaldo in front of the Old Trafford fans, so how can I back down from that, you know? Plus, he's the best captaincy option in my team, literally, based on his opposition. Then we have the 11 o'clock fixtures, which could pose some interest. You're probably not going to be paying attention to Burnley, Norwich, or Wolves, Newcastle. You're probably hoping for notifications in the Leeds. Leeds Watford game for Sarr and Rafinha owners, and then Chelsea if you have Lukaku, obviously. So probably keeping a close eye on those two. And then Brighton Arsenal is a very good game to round out the day, as it were. Then on Sunday they got 3 games at the same time: Crystal Palace, Leicester, Spurs, Aston Villa, West Ham, and Brentford. I'll be keeping a close eye on the West Ham Brentford game, but I think probably the game potentially to watch would be Spurs and Villa, because that could be Villa opening up Spurs, and then the main one, the big one of the week, which is Liverpool versus Man City, could be very, very tasty. Very, very tasty indeed. And then apparently Let's Talk FPL's internet went out on him. Which is never a good thing when you're doing a deadline stream like Let's Talk FPL does. Nothing as of yet, but we shall keep a close eye on things today. So let's go back. Right. So transfers again. Is it something that I need to be worried about? That is the question. Will I be worrying come the deadline? Am I going to be in a situation where I have 10 men? I think that Shaw will play. I think that the likelihood is that when Shaw's in, he's much. I think I mentioned this uh, on a video or something. Something I've definitely said recently. But basically, Shaw, Maguire, um, Shaw, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, players like that, when they're in the team, they're not on the bench. They're always in the actual team itself. Um, that's the only thing I can think of. So when Shaw goes to the hotel and travels with the team, and he trained the day before, then typically it's a situation where he's going to start. So that kind of bodes well for us. Kind of bodes well, at least. It'd also be interesting as well today if United took a penalty. If United got another penalty today, who takes it? Who takes it? Is it going to be Cristiano Ronaldo? Or is it going to be Bruno? That is a very interesting point that I'd be interested to know, because I don't see why Ronaldo wouldn't take it considering Bruno missed, but it seems to be that it seems to be that Bruno was on penalties for the Villarreal game as well. So, yeah, could be interesting. Um, so apparently there are rumors that Ronaldo will play only 60 to 70 minutes today to manage his minutes because he played 180 minutes in midweek. But the source that I have on Twitter is saying that he's still going to captain Ronaldo because, yeah, it just makes sense. It just makes the most sense. But let's take a look back at the team. So, do we have the bench order right? I'm just going to refresh just to make sure I have my team all in order. We got about 10 minutes or so before the deadline. So, hopefully, some team news can come in to make my decisions a little bit better. So bench order is probably fine. I mean, we know Trent's not going to play, so it doesn't really matter. But if he was going to play miraculously, I'd have him ahead of Tsimikas. I'd also have Trent ahead of Gilmore probably as well. Well, we know Trent's not going to play, so it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. Shaw, Veltman, Rudiger, Fornals, Benrahma, Sarr, Salah, Ronaldo, Antonio, Ings, Sanchez. Yeah, and Gilmore could be injured too. That's another big boo-boo potentially, which means we are literally down to our 11. Because I don't expect Tsimikas to come on in any way, shape, or form. Trent's not going to play, and if Gilmore's injured, then we could be up a creek. So, Is there anything else for the team news? At the moment, nothing as of yet. Could be panic stations. It could be panic stations soon-ish. If we don't get anything. Nothing as of yet. One thing I'm actually going to do while I'm here, just going to see if there's any comments on our latest video over on YouTube. No, there's not. Good. So I don't have to answer any of those. Because I typically like to answer you guys. I typically like to answer those questions for you, just in case you guys really need answering the questions. Yeah, now it's kind of just a wait and see. If we do get team news, which is kind of why I'm actively monitoring Twitter at the moment. And we're patiently waiting. We're patiently waiting. If there's going to be anything revealed. Let's see you again. Do. Now, Stephen Housen, who's a he's one of the presenters on Stretford Paddock, which was, I believe, the first Manchester United fan channel. Has a tweet where he just basically says FFS and then like a face that's just like not impressed. So I'm not sure if that's because he's seen the team and sees that it's bad. Or Ronaldo's on the bench or something maybe, which wouldn't be ideal. So, yeah, less than 5 minutes left, so make sure you have your teams in order. So, I can only share, yeah, so it doesn't look like the team news is likely. No team news, by the sounds of it. So do we take the risk with the likes of Veltman? Do we take the risk? I'm not sure. Surely Ronaldo can't be dropped. There's no way. Yeah, for some reason I have a sneaking suspicion that there could be a potential benching of somebody important in the United team, which can only be a few players realistically. And it's the main one could be Ronaldo. So yeah, we could yeah, I'm not too. Doesn't look like we're gonna get the old team news. So me or not, I would go Tarkowski personally. That's just. I mean, it doesn't really either or whatever you can fit in your budget. But me or Tarkowski if you're gonna go one. But I'm just gonna leave the team as is. This is why early team news can be annoying. I just have to go off what I've seen, basically. Less than 20 seconds for the team news. Gonna take one last quick check. Looks like nothing. So, yep, that should be the deadline. If I can refresh the team. That is my team currently. And I don't think and I believe that's going to be the deadline, which it is. So, hey, if Ronaldo's on the bench, I don't know what Solskjaer is doing, to be honest. That's just me. Ronaldo is Ronaldo, in my opinion. But yeah, that's going to do it for the deadline stream. Let's move over to the Fantasy Football Scout page. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to check out Fantasy Football Scout. Opta-driven stats tables which are customizable, which you can share in the members area and get access to. All of mine are public as well, so use the link in the about section, or if you're watching over on YouTube for this VOD, check the link in the description as well. So yeah, let's move over to the big screen. So that is going to do it for our Game Week 7 deadline. I know I wasn't talking too much towards the end there, but we were kind of just looking at to see if there was going to be any team news. It seems like potentially there's going to be somewhat of a bad thing happening in the United lineup, and I have a sneaking suspicion it could be Ronaldo on the bench. So it could be a bit interesting there. And if he is on the bench, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next one, take care.